All right, movie fans, ready for another deep dive.
Let's do it.
This time, we're tackling Twisters.
Ooh, the sequel.
Exactly. A lot of you want to know if it's worth braving the box office for, or if you should just, stay home and rewatch the original.
Right, that 96 Twisters, that's a classic.
Total classic. And thankfully, we've spun through a storm of reviews, so we're here to give you the lowdown, help you decide if it's a cinematic twister or, well...
Or a total flop.
Exactly.
You know, it never ceases to amaze me how these disaster movies, they always manage to rope us in.
It's true.
There's just something about that combo of, whoa, that's intense, and then, oh no, they did not just go there.
Right. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time.
Totally. And from what I've seen, this new Twisters, it's kicking up some serious dust, let me tell you. People have opinions.
Okay, so let's get right into it then. Glenn Powell. Every single review, they're practically singing his praises from the mountaintops. One even went so far as to say that he's going to be giving Tom Cruise a run for his money in, a couple years.
Wow. That's
high praise.
That's saying something.
Yeah.
Well, Powell's definitely got that charisma, no doubt about it.
Right, yeah.
And his star's been rising for a while now. But is he, the be-all, end-all reason to see this movie? That's the question.
That's the million-dollar question. Is he the reason to watch? One reviewer said, get this, that Powell has chemistry with everything, and I mean everything.
Oh.
Right, and then another one flat out claimed that he steals the show. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say his performance is generating some buzz.
Definitely seems that way. You know, it makes you wonder how Twisters is going to tackle the whole disaster movie vibe, you know?
Yeah.
Because the first one, it had this atmosphere, the slow burn tension that just, got under your skin.
Oh, totally.
Are they going to be able to recapture that same feeling?
Ooh, good question. Because I gotta say, the reviews are kind of all over the place when they start comparing it to the original.
Really?
Yeah, some fans, they're praising Twisters for, smoothing out the rough edges of the first film, giving us characters we actually connect with, maybe injecting a bit more humor.
Okay, I can see that.
But then you've got those diehard fans of the original, right? And they're craving that eerie, almost unsettling feeling that the 96 film had. They're saying that all the modern CGI makes everything feel... I don't know, just a bit too polished.
Interesting. What do you think? Did they go overboard with the special effects?
It's a tough one.
I mean, the age-old question, isn't it? Has CGI, robbed these kinds of movies of their ability to really get under our skin?
Right.
Because, think about it, we're so used to seeing anything and everything on screen now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just harder to tap into that primal fear of the unknown.
True.
Think about the original Twisters again.
Okay.
The sound, the practical effects, it really got under your skin.
Absolutely, you felt it.
And that's something that even the slickest CGI sometimes just can't quite replicate.
You know what? It's so true. It's like comparing, a thunderstorm you experienced as a kid, terrifying, right, to a perfectly recreated hurricane on a green screen.
Exactly.
Both impressive in their own right, but only one leaves you, completely breathless.
Right. One feels real, and the other feels almost expected.
Yes.
And that might be what's throwing some people off. But, it's not all about fancy tech, right?
True.
The story, the characters, even the music, that can all make or break a movie.
Totally.
Speaking of, what are the reviews saying about the Twisters music?
Ooh, the soundtrack. Now that's where things get interesting. One reviewer, they actually said the soundtrack alone was enough to get them to buy a ticket.
Yeah.
They were raving about the country music in it, which makes sense, right, given that whole Oklahoma setting.
Totally. And speaking of Oklahoma, a lot of the reviews were praising the on-location filming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were saying it adds this whole other level of, realism, makes it feel authentic.
That makes sense. I mean, it's one thing to see a tornado all done up on a green screen, right?
Right.
But to actually get that sense of place, the vastness of Tornado Alley.
Exactly. It just hits different.
It does. Okay,
Yeah.
but gotta ask, because it wouldn't be a deep dive if we didn't get into some of the maybe slightly less positive stuff.
Yeah.
One reviewer brought up a really interesting point. They were talking about how the movie might be, and I'm paraphrasing here, romanticizing tornadoes.
Ooh, interesting.
Making them seem exciting.
Okay.
Especially for people who actually live in Tornado Alley.
Yeah.
Where these storms are a very real, very dangerous part of life.
Right.
So it kind of makes you wonder, are they, glamorizing disaster a little bit?
That's a really good point. And it kind of touches on this bigger conversation around, the ethics of disaster movies as a genre.
So,
Where do you draw the line between entertaining people and being sensitive to the fact that these things, they actually happen, you know?
It's a tough one. It's about finding that balance, right?
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, these movies, they can be a way to get people thinking about natural disasters, about the science behind them even.
Exactly, yeah.
Like the original Twisters did that really well, but you don't want to go too far in the other direction and make light of the fact that these events can be incredibly traumatic and destructive.
Exactly. You got to strike that balance, show the power of nature, but not forget about the human cost.
Exactly. All right, but let's curl away from the ethics of tornadoes for a sec, shall we?
Okay.
And spin over to our other half of this storm-chasing duo,
Yeah.
Daisy Edgar-Jones.
Okay.
The reviews, I gotta say, seem to really love her.
Yeah.
One even mentioned being a fan since Normal People. Big fan.
Oh, nice. Yeah, her performance is definitely getting some attention. Though I will say it's a little less universally glowing than the praise for Glenn Powell.
Really? How so?
Well, some reviewers thought their chemistry was great.
Okay.
Natural, easy. While others, they weren't feeling that romantic spark.
Interesting. So it sounds like people are either on board with them as a duo or they're not.
Pretty much.
I wonder if it's just a case of Glenn Powell being, almost too magnetic.
He could be sucking up all the oxygen in the room. Cinematically, that is.
Right.
Or maybe the director wasn't even going for a traditional romance.
Interesting.
Maybe it was more about their shared love of storm chasing than anything else.
That's a good point.
Either way, it'll be interesting to see what audiences think.
For sure. So we've chased this Twisters review tornado, but where do we actually land with it?
Yeah, what's the verdict?
Is it a box office smash, or should we just, cozy up on the couch and rewatch the original?
Well, from what we've gathered, it sounds like it definitely delivers on those big, epic summer blockbuster thrills.
Okay, good to know.
Visually, it's supposed to be stunning, and the action sequences, oh, they sound intense. And of course, you've got Glenn Powell.
Right. He's the main attraction at this point?
I think it's safe to say he's drawing a crowd. But, with sequels, there's always that shadow of the original.
Right.
Some viewers, they might not be able to help but compare the two, Might miss that special something the 96 film had.
Yeah, it's like that nostalgia factor is hard to beat. Like hearing your favorite song on the radio versus seeing it live for the first time.
Ooh, perfect analogy.
Both great experiences, but there's nothing quite like that first time,
So true. And Twisters, it's interesting because it's sparking that exact debate. Can a sequel ever truly stand on its own 2 feet?
Right.
Or are we always going to measure it against the original, Hold it up to our own memories and expectations?
It's a good question, and I feel like it goes way beyond just Twisters.
Oh, absolutely.
Think about all the iconic films that have spawned sequels and prequels and even reboots. Can you ever really recapture that magic? Or is it always going to be a different beast?
It really makes you think. But hey, for anyone listening, if you're looking for, a fun, visually stunning escape with maybe a dash of nostalgia and a whole lot of Glenn Powell,
A whole lot.
then Twisters might just be the perfect storm.
Just maybe go in with an open mind. Don't expect an exact copy of the original.
Exactly. No two storms are ever alike, right? So tell us, have you seen Twisters yet? Did it blow you away or leave you feeling like you were stuck in the eye of the storm?
Let us know. Hit us up on social media. We'd love to hear your take. And as always, thanks for diving deep with us.
Always a blast. Until next time.